Now, this movie failed miserably at the box office, grossing the lowest out of all out of previous films, actually. And ironically, it's taken the Warcraft route and relying on international dollars to make it a success. Budgeted at $217 million, it needs to pretty much gross about 400 just to break even, and it's already on there thanks to the overseas dollars. Wow. Is that freaking crazy?
Thank you, China. Right?
Yeah, thank you, China. 196 million from international grosses. Yeah. Mark Wahlberg, though. This is Mark Wahlberg did a.
I invent things.
I am just not, and I like Mark Wahlberg, and me and Terrence always say he's got one of the best lines, top 10 lines in cinematic history with from The Departed.
Get your hands off me, you dirty ape.
Oh no,
but, no, I'm the guy that does his job. You must be the other guy. But other than that, and maybe the other guys, I'm just not sold on Mark Wahlberg with this particular franchise. And if what he says is true and that he's done with this franchise after this movie, thank you, because and don't touch Uncharted, please. But yes, I don't want to see Mark Wahlberg in Transformers movie. He's got star power, but it's not. I don't think it's enough for this particular franchise. We'll get into that in a minute. Yeah, characters. From the way it looks is that they just threw a bunch of different, they just threw a bunch of robots in there and named them whatever they want. Half the robots in there, I've never even freaking heard of. Well, and you do not make Hot Rod have a French accent. You just don't do it. Hot Rod is pretty much the one that takes over for Optimus Prime when he becomes Rodimus Prime. He has no business having a French accent, and he's a Lamborghini. To Terrence's point, why does he not speak Italian?
That's the point we all had. If he would, but why do they even have accents to begin with? But we'll get to that. But I will say that with the robots, okay, so when you watch the animated series growing up as a kid, there was the base standard cast or Transformers that were on it. And then all of a sudden there'd be like some random Transformer that you never heard of, but he was supposed to have been there the entire time. I can see that where they were trying to do something similar to this movie, that they were trying to make it just natural, that there's robots in disguise, but are they really in disguise anymore? They're just robots that can transform.
Yeah. I just need to ask this, like, how can you fix, if we're going into Transformers 6, how can you fix Transformers 6?
Well, first of all, hopefully the new director, whomever it may be, will see that there's so many flaws with that, and what recipe or what he will need, the game plan, is he would need to simplify who's going to be on there. As much as your imagination, as much as you want to give the fanboys what they want, you have to keep it basic. Get a much more. I think that's why Transformers, the first one, was so successful.
A lot of these, from a continuity standpoint, there is actually a full timeline online that ties pretty much everything together, from the first missions of Optimus and Sentinel Prime to the Prime that fell from grace, which turned into the Fallen that was looking for the Allspark, and then it went from there, and it had so much from a continuity standpoint. The whole timeline actually makes a hell of a lot of sense. The problem with the Transformers movies is that there is so much missing information and elements from the previous from the early part of the timeline that are not showcased and everything. So if you're looking at it, it kind of is it's just a big mess. And Terrence, you can't not stand this franchise, but and that's a big reason for it. But if you read it from the beginning, if you read these timelines from the very beginning of the mythology, all of it makes sense. It's just the order that they picked, which I don't know if they're doing it to make room so they can have prequels. I don't know. But if they do decide to do that, I think what would make it better is to eliminate the human aspect of this franchise. Everybody wants to see Transformers. They did not. I mean, they didn't pay money, honestly, to see Mark Wahlberg. Now, the Mummy had the same problem because Tom Cruise overshadowed the Mummy. In this particular case, they made Mark Wahlberg the Last Knight. That should have been Optimus Prime. He should have been the Last Knight, or somebody that from the Transformers family. That should have been the Last Knight. What?
Visionaries,
whatever. and exactly, they should have tied them. They're planning on a Hasbro universe. They should have tied the Visionaries if that's what they were going to do. Making it all about Mark Wahlberg, huge mistakes. And there are some franchises that don't need a top star. That's why I said that building around Isabella Moner or having Josh Duhamel take over the franchise. That's the type of actor. Josh Duhamel is probably, I love Josh Duhamel, but the fact is that he's probably maybe a B or C lister. That's probably enough to carry that, because guess what? Optimus is the star of that movie. Bumblebee, Megatron, they are the stars of Transformers.
Yes.
Not Mark Wahlberg, not anybody else. So it does not take a high-profile actor to boost sales in this kind of movie. Shia LaBeouf was a freaking Disney dropout with Even Stevens that turned into a freaking megastar thanks to Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. They did not need a top guy. You tell me who really, honestly, was a top person in the original Transformers.
Hey, Shia spits hot fire.
Shia freaking is the best, but I'm just saying that. But really, realistically, who was the biggest names that I can think of in the original Transformers was John Turturro from the freaking Big Lebowski days and all that. Other than that, Shia carried that movie, and Shia was relatively an unknown actor. So to think that you need a high-profile actor to take on a franchise that he has no freaking relevance in, it's just stupid.
Well, I think what worked well in the first one was that it was the introduction. Okay, how are we going to introduce them? We needed a base. We needed a character who we could cheer for, and we were going to introduce all the other characters. All right, so number one served its purpose, right? Number two started going, they started bringing in all these random Autobots, right, or Transformers out of nowhere. But I don't want to go on a tangent on that. Basically, everybody showed up to see Transformers. They showed up to see the robots, right? They didn't show up to see human actors. If we wanted to see human actors interact with something else, we would have gone to see something completely different. We wanted to see Transformers. Shia LaBeouf served his purpose in the first one. All the human characters did. But really, are they really going to put up much of a fight against these robots that can survive in various different climates, except sub-freezing temperatures? But other than that, like you said, we're not there to pay to see
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Or anybody.
Or any one of them.
And
they can be a minor character. Really, we're there to see the robots.
Here's the disappointing part. They had a writer's room consisting of 12 or more writers to write this stuff. And to be honest with you, it kind of looks like all 12 writers had their input and put it in the dang movie.
They just, hey, you're going to be in charge of this, you're going to be in charge of this, you're going to be in charge of this, and they just started picking up random things.
Exactly. And they put everything in the movie. To have that many minds and to come up with this is absolutely ridiculous. And it's also a freaking insult to the Transformers franchise. And I'm not talking about the Michael Bay franchise, I'm talking about the Transformers franchise. If you want to look at them individually, I'm pretty sure they had some pretty dang good ideas.
Yeah.
But collectively together, it looks like they put all their ideas and say, yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, let's do that. When in reality, it doesn't really take that much to do this.
So, I did want to talk about a few of the things that really have left me. So, if any of y'all can please help me, please post this, post a comment, because I still want to know who the heck Cogman was and what was his purpose. Okay,
he had no business in this movie.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not C-3PO. And what the hell is up with the TIE fighters?
Well, hold on.
Why is the Transformer riding in the car?
Okay, yes. Well, he didn't transform. That's one of the things. So he's not. Was he from Cybertron? Was he not? We never had an explanation from him. He was miniature size. All of a sudden, he has a phone that comes out from here that looks like one of those old school 1920s or 1930s phones with. He's talking like this. If you're really that advanced, are you really going to go with something that? But then he didn't transform. What the heck did he do?
I think that I think they did emphasize a lot on they tried really hard to to integrate the history, our personal history, and how they've always been here. I think they try to do that a lot.
Well, okay.
And that's part of it. Cognitive was part of that.
Oh, yes, but we had no explanation of what did he do? Where did he come from? Who was this guy? And all of a sudden, he's driving a car.
Why was he so aggressive?
Yes, anger management.
Yes,
He came from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Or they made Schultz from Dark of the Moon. It's Pirate Steve, and they turned him into Cogsman.
All right.
Oh, God.
So, okay, so we have
All right, what's next? What else you got?
an Irish Transformer who happens to be green. We have a yellow Transformer who happens to be Asian.
It's like Power Rangers.
Wait, which one was Asian?
He's the
He was red.
excuse me, red. I said yellow. Red.
Red like China.
Yeah. It's like I'm just like, okay, like why stereotype? Didn't we learn from?
it's Michael
Didn't we
Bay.
learn
What about
from?
the punk rocker? That,
Okay, well, I'll get to that. Nitro Zeus. Like, their names were just like random. Then they went. Here's the thing that bothered me of the film. You're going in one direction. All of a sudden, Megatron starts naming off people that he wants on his
team.
His team, and it ends up feeling like Suicide Squad. That I'm watching Suicide
Yeah.
Squad.
What, we some kind of Suicide Squad?
So here's another thing that bothered me, and this really bothered me. Okay, so in the first one, that little robot that turns into a boombox, right? He touches the cube, the Allspark, right? And all of a sudden, he lost almost his entire body. All of a sudden, now he has his full body, right? That same film, a few scenes later, Bumblebee has the Allspark, the huge cube, and he compacts it into this little small one. Why didn't he get his voice box fixed? If all he needed, you're able to do all this for this little robot, but you weren't able to do that. You know how to change this giant thing into a small thing. Okay, but hear me out. So now all this whole time, he doesn't have a voice, right? And now, oh, I found a voice box for you. All right, so he puts it on there and sounds like, Siri or whatever. And I know they were just trying to add. So he gets upset, Bumblebee gets upset, rips it out of his throat, right? Watch the movie. And then at the end, towards the end of the movie, oh, I'm now talking? Like the entire time you could talk, but now you just ripped out a voice box and you're still able to talk out of, it just made no sense whatsoever.
I can top that.
But wait! There's more!
One, and Terrence said it beautifully, Optimus Prime is everywhere, but in the movie. They Godzilla'd it. 2014 it up big time on that one.
Godzilla was more in the movie than he was in this movie.
Yes, he was. Another thing is that there was an essence of BVS here, to where Batman or Superman, yeah, they're gonna fight. 8 minutes, they fight, it's over. And this one, he barely fights Bumblebee for 2 minutes. What am I doing? I'm sorry. And he's good again.
Your voice. I haven't heard it, and that made me.
And he's no longer Nemesis Prime, which, if he was going to be Nemesis Prime, then he should have been the threat, not Megatron. Oh, and by the way, Megatron has blown up your whole freaking planet, and you're going to do a pact with him to locate Cade Yeager. Yeah. Oh, how about this one? They have Cade Yeager right there, and they let him go.
He's going to lead us to Cade Yeager.
But you just let him go.
You just let him. Yeah, what? Yeah. Okay. Let me top
What else
that
you
one.
got?
Let me top that one. Okay. And there's so many things I could just keep on talking about. Okay. Anthony Hopkins' little circle that he's in, right? Okay. So his whole little group, the little thing that he's in, that he's the last one of, their whole role is to keep Transformers a secret. What happened in Transformers 1? This is the age where people are videotaping everything, and it's all over the news. Okay, 2. Transformers 2, people are talking about it online. Transformers 3, they're freaking fighting in the desert, and they're not even making it like covert. One, they fought in a little town. 2, they fought in another little town. 3, they fought in the desert with a whole bunch of people bringing in all these various different armies. 4, they blew up Chicago.
No, 3,
they blew up Chicago. 4, They freaking
blew up Hong Kong.
Oh yeah, right.
It's safe to say that people know the Transformers exist.
I mean, what? My role is to keep them a secret. Really? Because y'all been doing a really crappy job. Okay.
Hey, how about Sam? Is Sam dead or not?
He was part of this group apparently. That
He was part of the Witwickian clan or whatever, the Witwickies, and now this girl is the last of them. So is he dead? Is he gone? Is he off the grid? He doesn't even know.
This is years. Remember, this has been years since this has been years since Chicago. Okay. How many remember in Chicago?
Remember Chicago.
Remember Chicago. All this crap. All right. Another thing that just really, it really bothered me.
But wait, there's more.
Was the fact, quit with just the stupid jokes. Just quit with the jokes. Everything has to be like. Okay, so one of the scenes is when Anthony Hopkins giving the history and all the music's playing. All of a sudden it's Cogman playing the organ. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. And then he's like singing in another scene. Oh, right after that, it's okay, we get it. Funny, ha ha ha. But the entire movie is one dumb joke after another, after another, after another. To bring some, I know it brings some... it
kind of releases some tension.
Yeah, but the whole movie...
But you can't... But there's not really any... you haven't really made any real solid tension yet to warrant that kind of a pun or anything like that. On top of that, I think it ruins Anthony Hopkins' acting prestige to constantly saying bitch, throw the finger, call him a dickhead. I mean, there's like so many things that completely out of character.
By the way, this movie was basically rated R.
It was. It was. They just needed some breasts on there and it would have been an official rated R.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mike Bay, you dropped the ball.
So, okay. Another thing that really bothered me.
But wait, there's more.
This little town that they're in. Oh, this whole town's rigged. All of a sudden, they show this scene where this guy's like it's a small abandoned little town apparently. Yet there's this skyscraper that's still functioning with elevators, and they walk in, they run into this building, the skyscraper, and there's somebody like the windows are boarded up. They have newspapers covering the windows, and there's this one guy just like brushing, like he's cleaning the building, like he's supposed to be there. And then another guy reading the newspaper, the security guard. What? This makes no sense. And there's explosions happening outside.
They made you feel like it was dystopian, but it was only affecting like one little spot. Every place else was fine.
Yes.
They're riding horses and still doing equestrian events and stuff like the rest of the world is fine. It's just this one little town that's all screwed
It's like that cartoon where the cloud is following the dude only. it's just raining on one dude.
But it's a Zoloft commercial.
Yeah, exactly.
It felt so off. Like, really, what were you trying to gain here? There was no,
and that's why I was saying about as far as you had these people in the writers' room and all of their ideas were put in this movie.
Ultimately, this movie had no rhyme or reason. Now, I will honestly go back and see this again.
I will not.
I need to understand what the heck. Maybe I needed to see it again. Now that I know what I'm paying attention to, the first time you see it, I'm seeing it as a fan, but I'm also trying to, okay, this makes no sense. Well, maybe I'm trying to tie in. Maybe I just need to go in there with fresh eyes and say, okay, now that I know I've gotten this all in my system and it's really crappy, let me try to watch it again and maybe I can see some pluses out of it, okay? One of the things, I will defend it on this part. One of the scenes, and the person next to me was falling asleep the whole time.
Yeah.
Terrence. So
he saw it because he had to.
One of the explanations I got is that, okay, they kept on waves and waves of Transformers were coming to the. Okay, so I like that because it's like, okay, more and more there's Transformers here on Earth, which still serves no purpose. Anthony Hopkins' little secret society. Yeah, but they try to cram in a lot of stuff, and there was no rhyme or reason.
But wait, there's more.
Going by characters, there's no way that Earth is Unicron.
Oh my God.
And let's just say this now. Let's just say this right now. If Earth is Unicron and Unicron transforms, we are effing done. There is no freaking saving that.
We're screwed.
We will freaking implode. We will blow up from the inside. We are through. That makes absolutely the freaking stupidest sense Take a shot, Marshall, because there's your frickin'. That is on film. It just does not make any sense.
Makes no sense whatsoever.
Unicron is a freaking is a planet-eating robot.
Well,
that is all over the place.
Apparently, the horns formed a circle because of during Pangea, but after the Earth.
Yeah.
He got his shape. The horns are so. Wait, what?
Yeah, it makes no freaking sense. There is no way that is possible. Second, Quintessa is the name of the planet where the Quintessons live. Not a freaking creator of the damn freaking Transformers. Who is writing this crap? Anyway, Michael Bay, you read
Michael
Bad Boys 3, baby. Bad Boys 3 and The Rock 2. That's what I need from you.
Look, at this point, Michael Bay is just saying, do it. Give me my check. And
All right, take us home.
I will go back and see it again because I can go off on tangents on so many different things. Most of all, I do want to say, if you haven't seen it, go see it. Watch it. Give us your opinion. Post what you thought about the movie. Maybe there's something that we didn't see that makes sense to you and it ties it in. He's like, no, don't go see it.
I don't know how you could. Okay.
Manny, take us home.
Well, that's our show for today. I hope that you found it interesting. I'm pretty sure that everybody has their opinions on it. There's a lot of people that are actually divided by both. You have some critics, obviously, in Rotten Tomatoes, it's just disgusting. But there are actually some people that think it's pretty amazing. A lot of them give props to Quintessa and the character of Quintessa. So there are some redeemable factors, I guess, for some people. If you are one of those people, or if you're not, please leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. Hit the like and subscribe button on this video if you really do find what we say interesting.
I mean, there's 14%, right, of Rotten Tomatoes, right? What's the approval rating? Somebody likes it.
Anyway, for Terrence over here on the couch, for Aspen in the back, I'm Manny.
I'm Art.
And we'll see you next time. One of the other things that bothered me on this movie. 10 minutes left? Okay. I'll try to do that. You got a lot of edits on this one, Terrence. Okay, real quick.